I don't want him to be killed.
Okay, hold on. Look at this right here. This is an actual printout of Trump's voice. This is him talking right now. Do you see this right here? Does that look a little bit different? That's the exact second that he realizes whatever comes out of his mouth next could get the guy that he thinks is running Iran killed. And I'm gonna prove that to you right now. There's 5 very clear signals that he gives off in this clip that we're gonna watch. I want you to watch it first on your own and see how many you can catch, detective, before I point them out. We'll see what kind of chops that you've got. And just for context, Trump got asked point blank who he's negotiating with Iran. That was the question from the reporter. And remember, Trump's a guy who calls world leaders by name, by derogatory names on social media. He's had no filter for decades. So these signals that you're gonna see in this clip should be pretty obvious for you. Let's roll the video.
We don't know if he's living, but the people that seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said have taken place.
Mr. President,
Again,
Mr. President, I know you've deployed.
because I don't want him to be killed. Okay, I don't want him to be killed.
Mr. President, you've deployed.
Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job right now. You know, nobody's exactly looking forward to being the head of that particular country.
Okay, did you catch all 5? Here we go.
But the people that seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said.
Okay, what did you catch right there? That's a great setup. He justified his statement and nobody even asked him. He said, it seems to be because the facts are that he's doing this and this. So anytime you do what's technically called a preemptive justification, it shows that you feel the need. You're not that certain to do that. Secondly, at the same time, just to kind of magnify this point, his body language, I think this is subconscious, but watch his right arm. He's using very strong body language to further try to persuade people that what he's saying is true.
That seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said have taken place.
Mr. President,
Again,
Mr. President, I know you've deployed.
because
Okay, right there. What did you notice? He's buying himself time to think, okay? So they're asking him grilling questions about who this person is that he's talking to in Iran, and he realizes he can't say who it is, and he realizes, so he's trying to buy himself time. So this is a classic technique. He looks to the other reporter with absolutely no intention of speaking to him, buys himself time, and then looks back and finishes his thought. Listen.
have taken place.
Mr. President,
Again,
Mr. President, I know you've deployed.
because I don't want him to be killed. Okay, I don't want him to be killed.
Did you notice? 2 long pauses. And just to point this out, because you may have not caught it, that's what this is, okay? Right here, look at him talking, okay? This is just oh shoot. This is just left and right stereo. So this is the same thing. But do you notice the longest gap that he had in between here when he wasn't pausing here? Look at this. There's none. They're super thin. He doesn't talk with many gaps. Look at these, all of a sudden out of nowhere. Again, do you notice something? Buying time to think. He wants more time to think how to word this carefully, because he knows on Twitter, on X, everywhere else, anything that he says that either gives away the person he's talking to could be absolutely catastrophic, or anything else. So he's trying to buy, and I know it may seem like quite nuanced and quite detailed, but when you're a politician, every microsecond that you have to think how to word things better actually means a lot. Now watch this next one.
Again,
Mr. President, I know you've deployed.
because
Okay, right there. That's the most nuanced one. His jaw has a few false starts because he does, I don't want him to be killed, right? That's maybe something he didn't necessarily want to say, right? He's admitting basically in that point that probably the regime of Iran doesn't like this guy talking to Trump. And he realizes it's such a gray area. So watch it again. Watch his jaw here before he says, because I don't want him to be killed.
again,
Mr. President, I know you've deployed.
because I don't want him to be killed.
Okay, so basically his brain is telling him, listen, the packaging, the couching, the way you're gonna say this isn't quite safe yet. You see in any conversation, someone's balancing honesty against the consequence of that honesty. In this instance, the consequence could be really high. So again, it shows he's not completely at peace with what he's saying, and he's not quite sure it's gonna come out just right. Now again, listen, this is something that Trump does a little more often, but he repeats himself verbatim.
I don't want him to be killed. Okay? I don't want him to be killed.
Mr. President,
Okay,
you-
repetition under pressure is another way to buy more processing time. Your mouth is still running. It doesn't seem like an awkward pause, but your brain is thinking on what gets to come next. Here's the thing. Most men have no idea how they actually sound when they talk. The voice that you hear in your head is not what everyone else hears. And most of the time, what they hear sounds nervous. It sounds uncertain, like you're not sure of what you're saying, even if you're the expert, even if you are the authority in the room. I can listen to someone talk for 30 seconds and tell them exactly what's making people tune out, talk over you, not think you're worth their time, and how to fix it. And listen, nobody's gonna tell you this, but as a man, there's really only two things that give you an unfair advantage the moment you walk into a room. That's your height and your voice. You can't do anything about your height unless you're buying these lifts on TikTok to give you 3 extra fake inches, but you can your voice. That you can completely change. So if you're not 6'4" and jacked, you might want to get this dialed in. Because think about it. Your kids, they're watching you. They're seeing how other people respond in public when you talk. Every sales call you're on, every meeting, every conversation, every time you literally open your voice to talk, it is either working for you or against you. I'll put a link below if you want me to personally listen to your voice and get you sounding strong.